calendar?
February the 15th.
Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, courtroom 2. Let's see, who do we have first?
Cortez Bradley.
Got position number 1, Mr. Bradley, for you.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Bradley. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar. We are conducting this calendar this afternoon by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Sir, yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bradley. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000464J with simple battery, family violence, and battery. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
8. 8 total. He has 2 holes, one out of Dawsonville, Georgia, one out of Cumming, Georgia. Last arrest was December 2020, theft by deception in DeKalb County. It's open. He's on probation for entering auto with the intent to commit theft or a felony, 3 counts. Obstruction, fleeing an officer, 3 counts. Possession of a firearm or knife during the commission, 2 counts. Criminal attempt to commit a felony, theft by taking. In 2019, they gave him 3 years to serve, 5 years probation. On probation for burglary in the second, theft by taking, theft by receiving, and trespass. Yeah, that's all.
Ms. Guidry, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Okay, in this case, Your Honor, officers arrived at 898 Washington Street, Southwest Atlanta. They spoke with Yowanna, Ywanna Reynolds, common spelling, who stated that she went to her daughter's residence, which is the Villages at Carver Community Center, located at 201 Maury, Moury Avenue Southeast, to check on her daughter, Yowanna Reynolds, that is Cawanna. Upon Ms. Reynolds arriving, the defendant and Ms. Yowanna were having a verbal argument that turned physical. The defendant, Ms. Yowanna, observed the defendant physically beat Ms. Yowanna, her daughter, and then he got on top of her. When Ms. Yowanna tried to break up the fight, the defendant grabbed Ms. Yowanna, which is the mother, by the neck and strangled her, and then began to punch Ms. Yowanna, the mother, in the face. Ms. Yowanna suffered a swollen cheek, and she suffered scratches on her neck. Your Honor, we're asking for a $9,000 total surety bond, $3,000 for the simple battery, $6,000 for the battery, a stay away from 898 Washington Street, a stay away from 201 Maury Avenue, no further contact with Yowanna and Yowanna Reynolds, 1-day anger awareness and third-party contact with the children, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, the reason for the state's recommendation is, 1, given the facts. We'd also like to state that the children were present during the time of this altercation, Your Honor. And given the fact that he strangled someone, beat up another individual in the presence of his children, and Your Honor, given his criminal history, he has, out of the 8 arrests, almost all convictions, even the open theft by deception. So we're concerned for the safety of the community and the victims in this case, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Guidry. Good afternoon, Ms. Kim. Is this your case? You on mute, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Bradley is 26 years old right now, and he is living with his girlfriend. The apartment is basically, the complaining witness does not live in that house. She was just visiting. So, and this is the place where Mr. Bradley lives with his girlfriend, Mrs. Yowanna. She wanted to join us for testimony because she was a witness and she has seen some of the incidents, and basically she denies all the allegations along with Mr. Bradley, who denies the allegation as well. Even though he may have, state is correct, all these charges, they are all not related to the family violence at all. This is first battery case for the family violence. So we would like to request a signature bond, if not a low bond. Indeed, Mr. Bradley is not a flight risk at all because he has 2 children, 10 years old son and 2 years old. He has a family ties here. Grandmother is here as well. So we would like to ask for $500 signature bond, please.
Okay. Whoever's with Willie Prestel, could you please mute? I hear someone's radio or something in the background. So Ms. Lewis, if Mr. Prestel doesn't mute, would you please mute him? Ms. Reynolds, I see that you are on the line. Yowanna Reynolds, if you would like for the court to hear from you, I'll need for you to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in. Ms. Lewis, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. She was on earlier.
Oh no, I'm asking about this for this Willie Prestel. Can you?
No, he's not linked to the audio, so I don't know where it's coming from.
Okay, do you all hear that? I hear radio in the background somewhere. Do you all hear that? Okay, I guess not. Okay, thank you. Ms. Guidry, who is Yowanna Reynolds to Mr. Bradley?
His girlfriend, Your Honor.
And who is Yowanna Reynolds to Mr. Bradley?
Yowanna is Yowanna's mother.
Okay. And you said something about going to, is 201 Maury Avenue? What location is that?
That's the incident location, but 898 is Miss Yowanna's house.
Right, I got that. So what is the incident location? What is that?
The incident location is 201 Maury Avenue.
And what is that location? Is it a school? Is it a place of business?
It's a house.
It's a house.
It's an apartment complex, the village at Carver, yes.
Okay. And who lives there?
Just 2 of them, Mr. Bradley and his girlfriend,
Yes,
Okay.
Yowanna.
Yowanna.
And who lives
Miss
at
Yowanna lives at
898 Washington Street?
No one.
Miss Yowanna Reynolds.
Okay, so the mother lives at Washington Street. And
Yes,
who is the simple battery allegation against?
Yowanna.
No, Yowanna, the
No,
mother.
the battery is for Miss Yowanna because she suffered a swollen face, and scratches to her neck. The
Okay,
simple battery is to Miss Yowanna because the defendant was beating Miss Yowanna in the presence of the children and in front of Miss Yowanna.
okay,
who
all right.
witnessed it.
I have it now. Thank you. Again, Ms. Yowanna Reynolds, I see you there. If you would like to give testimony in this case, I need for you to unmute yourself and I'll need to swear you in. You're on mute, Miss Ma'am. You're still on mute.
They won't let her mouth is, it won't let her unmute.
She has to unmute herself, so I don't know what she's doing.
Okay. How many children, do they have children together?
2, Your Honor.
Two.
Two?
One, its son is 10 years old, and 2 years old is another daughter. And actually, they are engaged and they were planning to marry this month, but he's afraid that it's not going to happen.
And have you spoken, Ms. Guidry, to Yowanna Reynolds?
Yes, Your Honor, we spoke to Miss Yowanna Reynolds. Of course, she's denying the allegations. However, Your Honor, given the seriousness of the case, and she called the police that day, Your Honor, we're asking for those conditions, and the officer observed scratches to her neck and swelling. So it happened.
Okay, and did you talk to Yowanna also?
No, Your Honor, we didn't have any contact information for her.
I was able to talk to her, and she was here and she wanted to talk, and she said that she denies all those allegations and she feels fine for Mr. Bradley come home. And by the way, her mother is not at their apartment together. They don't live together.
That's correct. But we're asking for a stay away for both locations.
Right. All right. It doesn't appear that
She trying to log back on.
okay, Ms. Reynolds, I see you there. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
I just want to tell them that about the altercation when my mom said that he was beating me. No, that is false. And the fact that she's saying he was touching her, that is false too. Plenty of time me and Cartavius get into verbal arguments, yeah, in front of our kids, but we know for a fact to not pass no licks because of our kids. This is facts. So all that, I don't know what's going on, to be honest, but I just need to call my mom. I just really joined because my kids' dad told me to join. I did not know what it was about. But Cartavius is not a harm to me. Me and my kids' dad are in love. He take care of his kids and he do what he's supposed to do. And he's my babysitter while I'm at work right now. I just struggled because I did not have a babysitter and I almost lost my job. Like, we don't even deal with them like that. We don't deal with my family. That's why I don't even know why this is even occurring. That's all I got to say.
Okay, so were you there when the police came on January 15th?
No.
All right, so you don't remember you didn't give any statements to the police regarding this?
I didn't give no statement, sir.
Okay, and you're not afraid of Mr. Bradley?
No, ma'am. After me and Cartavius got into an argument, after that, he came home the same night. He came right back home. My kids love their daddy. He come home every night. I make sure that he come home every night. They love their daddy too much for us to be going through stuff.
All right. Ms. Guidry, was there on the police report, was there any statement from Ms. Reynolds?
Miss Yowanna Reynolds?
Yes.
No, Your Honor, only from Miss Yowanna, who witnessed the entire incident. And was also involved in the incident herself.
All right, anything, and you're not, I've already asked you that, thank you. Anything further, Ms. Guidry, Ms. Kim?
If I remember correctly, didn't Miss Guidry said even mother, YWANNA, she denied allegation, right?
Again, Your Honor, yes, she may have denied the allegations, but we all know the cycles of violence. We all know that this could occur again. We all know that the defendants, apologize and they want to come back home, but we still stand with, we want to stay away and no further contact given the instances and his criminal history.
Okay. Well, I don't see any history of any batteries in his background. Are there, Mr. Guidry, Ms. Guidry?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so for the simple battery family violence, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. For the battery, it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through the jail, making it a total of a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Yowanna Reynolds, and stay away from Yowanna Reynolds' home of 898 Washington Street. No further violent contact with Yowanna Reynolds. No drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond. So he can go back home, but he can't go back to Yowanna Reynolds' house or have any contact with her. You understand that, Mr. Bradley?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You too.
Yes, we got number 2, Mr. Carter.
Good afternoon, Mr. Carter. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Carter, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0000454Y with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Got second arrest. Last was 03 under the name Daniel K. Carter out of Louisiana. Filing or maintaining false public records was the charge. That's all.
Okay. Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor. So here, officers arrived at 650 Breton High in Atlanta. They spoke with Miss Michelle Young, who stated that her and the defendant got into a verbal altercation about the TV being too loud. The altercation continued into the bedroom, and after hearing the commotion, Miss Karen Young, who's the mother of Michelle Young, entered the bedroom to intervene when the defendant pushed Miss Karen into the wall and swung at her, hitting her in the face. After being pushed and hit, Miss Karen sprayed the defendant with pepper spray to defend herself. Miss Karen suffered a bloody nose and swelling to her right cheek. At the time of the incident, Miss Karen did live in the house with the other two parties. Your Honor, we're asking for a $5,000 surety bond, a stay away from 650 Breton High, no further contact with Karen Young, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, this is due to the defendant hitting an elderly person, Your Honor, 59 years of age at that time. And he is a flight risk given that he does have criminal history out of Louisiana. So that's why we're asking for the stated bond in the conditions.
Okay, so Karen Young is the mother, and you said she's not living there anymore?
At the time, she was living there. I don't know if she still is.
Oh.
But this
And-
happened yesterday, so I'm pretty sure she still is.
Oh, okay, all
Yeah.
right. Thank you, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Carter, he's 39 years old. And actually the house that he lives, the incident location, 650 Brenton Fairborn House, it's his house and it's in his name. And basically, Karen was the visitor. So I don't think it's fair for him to be kicked out of his own house when visitor is complaining witness. He has been here for more than 3 years here in Georgia, and he has a strong ties to the community. Not only his family is here, he has a job here. He works as HVAC, air conditioning repair person. He has a certification for that. He has been working for that industry for more than 10 years. He was even honor student when he was in high school. He went to technical college, and he provides for his family. They have 2 children, boy 13, girl is 7 years old, and they need their father. And also history, it has nothing to do with family violence or battery at all. Indeed, he meets criteria for unsecured judicial release. Signature bond is very proper for him. Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Kim, have you spoken with Michelle Young or Karen Young?
Actually, I called them and I left a message to call me back, but nobody was answering the phone.
So you don't know whether or not Karen Young is living at the 650 Brenton High location?
Correct. I could not verify.
Does he have someplace else to go if he can't go back there right now until somebody verifies that?
He said he could go to friend's place for a few days until Miss Karen leaves his house.
Okay. So anything further, Ms. Guidry?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness class. No further contact with Karen Young. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. So, Mr. Carter, if Ms. Young is at that location of 650 Brenton High, you can't go back there. If she's not there, then you can go back there. If she's there and you have belongings at that location, then you can have a one-time escort to retrieve any belongings that you may need from that location. Okay? Any questions, Ms. Cameron, Ms. Guidry?
No, Your Honor.
Mr.
Thank
Carter?
you.
Yes,
Yes.
I,
You have-
I understand, but she just moved in.
Okay, all right. So since you're living there, you can't go back to that location. You're gonna have to go somewhere else until you all have another place to stay or she has another place to stay, okay?
All right.
All right. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Carter. Ms. Bridgewater, check your chat for me, please.
Number 3, Mr. Johnson.
Sorry, tell me again what number this is.
Number 3.
Okay. And is it pronounced Diop?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, Mr. Diop. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Diop, you've been charged in case 22 CR 0000461A with reckless conduct. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
This is second arrest. Last was January 22nd out of Smyrna. This year, felony theft by taking, identity theft, fraud, computer invasion of privacy, felony theft by taking, misdemeanor sexual battery. That's open.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor. So officers arrived at 1600 Delwo, DELOWE Drive in Atlanta. They spoke Delo.
Okay.
They spoke with Mamie, it's MAME Diop, who is the sister of the defendant. She stated that she and the defendant were arguing because one sibling wouldn't speak to the other one. She advised that the defendant then showed her a handgun, and to prove that it was real, he went outside, and as she stood in the doorway, he pointed the weapon in the air and fired 1 round. Miss N. Kebe, which is the mother of the two siblings, confirmed the events as Miss Mammy stated. The officers did find one shell casing outside. Your Honor, we would like to note that there has been an ongoing feud between the family due to the family being upset that Miss Mammy wants to marry someone from another culture, Your Honor. We're recommending a $10,000 surety, a stay away from 1600 Delow Drive in Atlanta, no further contact with Mammy Diop, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, this is mainly due to him just being arrested on the 27th for the stated charges that pretrial has stated, and given the gruesomeness of those facts, and I'm pretty sure he just got out of bond, and he should not have had a gun. That's why we're asking for those recommendations and that bond.
Okay, so Ms. Guidry, what is the reason for him not being able to go back to Delow and to have no further contact with this person?
Well, they've been arguing over a period of time due to her wanting to marry someone else, and him having a gun. Granted, he didn't point it at her, but he had a gun, and he went and pointed it in the air and shot it.
Okay, I understand that, but does she not want to have contact with him? Is that?
We haven't talked to her. However, she did stated that at the time she didn't want to press charges. However, Your Honor, given the facts and him just being arrested,
Who called the police?
She called the police.
Okay.
That's my sister.
And again, Your Honor, he fired a handgun during an argument, so that is enough.
Okay.
For them not to be around each other for right now, and that there's been an ongoing dispute.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Diop is 26 years old, and he lives in 1741 McLean Avenue, apartment 3, which is different from the incident location. He does not object, stay away from 1600 Delow Drive, Atlanta, and he's fine with no violent contact with his sister. And he has been working as an Uber driver, and he speaks 3 languages, English, French, and Arabic. So he's very smart. And also he has 2 boys, and he's married to his wife right now, and his wife is pregnant. They're expecting a baby July 2022. And he has been also, if we read arrest affidavit, I mean, Miss North Kebe, who is the mother of the siblings, she actually said, no one pointed a weapon at person. It was just in air. And also, Miss Mame does not want to charge any a conviction or anything like that, Your Honor. She does not want to press the charges.
Okay, well, regardless of if he pointed it at someone, I mean, allegedly he had a gun, which Ms. Guidry said that he is out on bond and has stated that it was a condition of his bond not to have a gun. And you cannot fire a gun, allegedly, if he did fire a gun in a residential neighborhood or any place else as that goes. So whether or not he pointed it at anyone to this charge is irrelevant. Is that your understanding, Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, I want to mention that when I was interviewing with Mr. Diop, he actually said that there was no gun. That's what he said. He denied the allegation.
Okay. All right.
So, and again, he just got out for the other charge, and as stated, it was very gruesome. He inappropriately touched the victim and stole her items and made a number of transactions.
Okay, so but we're only going to concentrate on this reckless conduct here, and for that, it's going to be a $3,000 surety bond. Stay away from the Delow Avenue address. No further contact at this point with his sister. No drugs, no alcohol or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Yes, we have number 4, Mr. Dubeltman.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dubeltman. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0000455F with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
First arrest.
Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, so yesterday, officers arrived at 1050 Lenox Park Boulevard in Atlanta. They spoke with Michelle Up, that's UPP, who stated that the defendant got upset after she told him that she wanted to separate. The defendant proceeded to break a plate on the floor, charged at Miss Up, slapped her in the face, pulled her arm repeatedly, and caused a laceration to her hand. When she tried to call the police, the defendant took her phone from her. They then spoke to the defendant, who admitted to getting upset because Miss Up wanted to separate. He also admitted to breaking a plate, but he stated that Miss Up went to the bathroom and hit herself, Your Honor. He also admitted to taking her phone because he said he wanted to prevent her from going outside to make noise, Your Honor. We're asking for a $5,000 surety bond, a stay away from the address, no further contact with Michelle Up, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Your Honor, this is largely due to the defendant's actions in this case. From him seemingly get upset for no reason, simply because she wanted to separate, Your Honor. And there is a risk of reoffending and intimidation of the witness.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Roman is actually 34 years old, and I believe he meets criteria for signature bond. And because, as the pretrial said, there's no history of any violence, no arrest, whatsoever. This is the first offense that he has ever had in his entire life. And actually 1050 Lenox Mall, that's the apartment, it's an apartment at Atlanta, and the lease is in his name, actually. Also, he became a US citizen in 2005. He came to Georgia 1991. So he's been here for more than 30 years. And they have a family, has a liquor store business at Alpharetta, Georgia. And that liquor store has been there for about 12 years. He has been a good citizen. He was an honor student when he was going to the high school in Alpharetta. He also got a business real estate bachelor degree at Georgia State University. And he has 14 months baby right now that they have to take care of. So he has to take care of. So we would like to request signature bond for him.
Has anyone spoken to Ms. Up?
Your Honor, we didn't have any contact information.
Ms. Kim?
Nope, Your Honor.
All right, so it's going to be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness class, until someone speaks with Ms. Up. No further contact with Ms. Up. Stay away from the 1050 Lenox Park Boulevard address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement if he has belongings that he needs to retrieve from that address. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Duberman.
Thank you. Yes, we have number 5, Mr. Ellis.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ellis. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Ellis, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000453D with obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
27 total. Last arrest was back in August. Possession of a controlled substance with intent, abandonment of dangerous drugs, obstruction. That is open in state in Superior Court, 21 SC 178186. On probation for possession of cocaine, that's 12 SC 108988. 2012, they gave him 29 years and 6 months probation. Also on probation for selling marijuana out of Gwinnett. He has a Gwinnett hold. I think that's Gwinnett. He does have a foreign hold though, Judge. He got some probation violations in his history as well. 2014. You want more?
Oh, that's fine. Thank you. Ms. Guidry?
Yes, Your Honor. So here, yesterday, officers of Georgia State University were trying to question the defendant, and he ran away as they were giving him commands. That is a obstruction of law enforcement. We're asking for a $3,000 surety bond and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is due to the defendant's criminal history. He has numerous convictions for willful obstruction, Your Honor. He also has a warrant out of Lawrenceville for probation violations. This is why we believe he ran away. And he also has those numerous open charges from MARTA and APD, as pretrial has stated. Your Honor, he also had aggravated assault charges from 2008 and simple battery from 2006. And he also had a failure to appear in 2018, making him a flight risk, which shows that he probably won't come to court. And as pretrial stated, he was given 29 years on probation. So that's why we're asking for the $3,000 surety and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
You know why they stopped him, Ms. Guidry?
I do not.
They didn't charge him with anything else except for running?
That's it.
Okay. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Ellis, when this incident happened at Georgia State University, and Mr. Ellis denies all the allegations. He is currently 33 years old, and he lives in a house where mother owns. He was born in Georgia, and he has been working as a dishwasher at Sunshine Retirement Home. And I had a chance to speak to his mother, and his mother believes his son is a good man, and he could not graduate from the high school. He went up to 11th grade. He has 5 children, 17, 15, 13, 10, 6. So he has a lot of responsibility to take care of those 5 children. And he wants, for this specific one, obstruction of law enforcement officer, he wants signature bond. So that way, I mean, he can be out of the Fulton County jail. That's it, Your Honor.
All right. Well, I'm going to release him to that hold. $1,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Ellis, I'm going to give you the opportunity to get out and go deal with Gwinnett County, but if you don't show back up to your next hearing date, they're going to put a warrant out for you. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good luck to you, sir.
Oh, you too. Number 6, Mr. Garrett.
Good afternoon, Mr. Garrett. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Garrett, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000463B with carrying a weapon without a valid license. Is there a history?
This is 4th arrest. Last was on the 16th of January for suspended license. He was arrested back in October, misdemeanor theft by taking, and a 2020 marijuana possession conviction.
Okay. Ms. Guidry? You're on mute, Ms. Guidry.
There we go. Can you hear me now? Is it
I can hear
working?
you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so yesterday, the defendant entered the city of Atlanta courthouse with a book bag, and officers found him to have concealed a handgun inside that book sack. We're asking for a $3,500 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. This is largely due to the defendant entering a courthouse with a handgun, Your Honor. That's making him a danger to the community, given that he should not walk around with a handgun concealed into a courthouse, Your Honor. No telling what could have happened or what would have happened. So that's why we're asking for that bond in those conditions.
Yeah. Tell me the bond again that you're requesting. I'm sorry, Ms. Gager.
3,500 surety and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Thank you. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Garrett is 22 years old. He lives in Hampton, Georgia with his uncle and parents. And I had a chance to talk to Miss Dana, and Miss Dana was wanting to tell the judge that he is a really good boy and he works really hard at Chesley Brown Security Guard. He works from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. as a night shift. He has been working there for 3.5 years, and he has a good heart to give out and help out the homeless at the West Side whenever he sees homeless people. And he graduated from high school and he went to Georgia State University for 8 months, and he's taking a break because of all the COVID and he needs to make some money. However, he want to go back to the school fairly soon. He has strong ties here in Georgia, actually, really, really strong. He has 11 siblings, all biological siblings, 1 sister and 9 brothers. So he wants to stay here in Georgia. I don't think he's gonna have a flight risk. And if we have to have, we would like to request for a signature bond, but if it cannot be done, we would like to request for $100 bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, $3,000 signature bond through the jail, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Garrett.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, number 9, Mr. Matherly.
Good afternoon, Mr. Matherly. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 000458E with theft by receiving stolen property. Your history, Mr. Howard?
Judge, who we on? I had to step away real quick.
Position 9, Mr. Matherly.
Matherly, 33 total. He has history out of Florida. Last arrest was 2020, January, for suspended license. No, I'm sorry. Last arrest was January 27th, 2022, possession of marijuana. He went to the city jail for that. Before that was the 2020 suspended license, 2015 suspended license, 2015 failed to appear for misdemeanor possession of marijuana, 2013 probation violation, 2011 burglary conviction, another 2011 probation violation, 2011 parole violation, 2008 possession of tools, criminal damage to property 2nd degree, burglary conviction.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Duncan?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Afternoon.
In this case, the defendant did receive and retain property that belonged to, it was stolen property, and it was 2 4-wheelers, hedge trimmers, auto battery charger, an impact Rovey wrench, and the value was less than $1,500. And the property did not belong to him. The property belonged to Robert Whitley, and his history is riddled with theft offenses. He also has a theft by receiving stolen property that was dismissed. In addition to the offenses that pre-trial listed, there is a conviction for theft by shoplifting in 2003 and 2007. Given the failure to appear, we're concerned that he is a flight risk. Given the nature of the offense, the state is asking for a $4,000 surety bond and to return the victim's property if able. If not, then no further contact with that victim, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and a theft class.
So How was it discovered that he had the property? And does he know Mr. Whitley?
The warrant indicates that police were called. I'm not sure the circumstances under which they were called, Your Honor. It just indicated what property was taken and who it belonged to.
Okay. Who called the police?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. It said they arrived on scene.
Where was the scene?
Let me check for you. One second. The location of where the property was located was at 1779 Lakewood Avenue in Atlanta. And my apologies, is Roger Whitley that they belong to, but it doesn't state how he knows Mr. Whitley or anything of that nature. It just states that that was a property that was obtained and that he should have known it was stolen.
So the Lakewood Avenue address, is that Mr. Whitley's address?
I am unsure, but I'm assuming so, Your Honor. Maybe the defense could shed more light on what address that is.
Okay, I mean, I just think it's odd that, you're gonna show up and you like return the property, or, do you not have the property? Where's the property now? How did they know that Mr. Matherly? It's just difficult to go on with that, with what you're telling me, Ms. Duncan. Ms. Falk, anything that you can add to this?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
That address at 1779 Lakewood Avenue Southeast is Mr. Whitley's address. He stated that someone had broken into his white Chevrolet van by busting the right side rear door window out. He was missing a auto battery charger and the wrench, as well as some other items. And this case is actually, now that we were able to get the police report, I believe this case is actually associated with another case by the name of Bernard Jinks that we have actually worked up previously, because the facts look very similar to another case that I reviewed several months ago. So if Your Honor will give me a moment, I think I should be able to get more information from Mr. Jinks' case.
Okay.
But this is actually, I believe this is a case with more than one co-defendant. So I think this may just have been the last arrest. So while the defense speaks, I can get some more information from Mr. Jinks' case.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Falk.
Not a problem, Your Honor.
Ms. Gant?
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jeffrey Matherly is 55 years old. He has been in Atlanta for 30 years with his wife. He has been married to his wife for the past 6 years. He also has a son in Georgia. He also has a daughter in Oregon. He completed high school and he went on to study auto upholstery. He is self-employed at Precision Auto Trim, where he builds vehicles. He also works as an independent contractor for Atlanta Water Heater. Mr. Matherly denies the allegations, Your Honor. He states that he has not been near that area, 1778 Lakewood Avenue Southeast, and he states, he informed me that his address is 1778 Lakewood Avenue Southeast, and that Mr. Roger Whitley is a neighbor that lives across the street. Mr. Matherly, his position is that Angela Duncan is a person who has been in his residence since December 2020, and that Ms. Duncan falsified a quitclaim deed, and he was actually dispossessed of his home. So he states that he has not been at that home or around that area since December of 2020. He denies the allegations, and for these reasons, Your Honor, I am requesting a signature bond. Now, I acknowledge Mr. Matherly's history. However, the FTA was 7 years ago. The probation violation was over 10 years ago. The theft, the burglary was over 10 years ago. He had a theft by receiving charge that was dismissed over 10 years ago. And for these reasons, Your Honor, I am again requesting that signature bond. If Your Honor determines that he is ineligible, then a bond of no more than $500. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Gant. Were you able to pull up anything, Ms. Falk?
Your Honor, and I am looking at the case now. There was a co-defendant on this. Let me just make sure.
And Your Honor, if I may, while she is looking, doing her research, according to the warrant, there is nothing in the warrant whatsoever. It basically is this bald-faced warrant that we have here, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, without, just on the fly, I cannot
Okay,
locate the additional information. As I said, we do have a police report which gave that initial incident involving the van, which again sounded very, very familiar, which is why I was trying to find the potential associated cases. However, without more, there's unfortunately not more information I can give to the court other than that information that we have from that initial report.
Okay, so this is a March of 2021 offense date I have down. It looks like there's a number of things that need to be worked out. So it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Roger Whitley. Stay away from the Lakewood Avenue address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. All right, good luck to you, Mr. Matherly.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, we got number 10, Mr. Molden.
Good afternoon, Mr. Molden. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Molden, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000460A with violating a family protective order. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
19 total. I see 2 get fade to appears in the history. Last arrest was on New Year's Day for battery and 4 counts of cruelty in the 3rd. He's on probation for that in state court. 22 CR 0004 E as in Edward. Hold on. A 2019 probation violation for disorderly conduct. 2018 disorderly conduct conviction. Another 2018 disorderly conduct conviction. 2018 failure to appear for simple battery family violence. 2017 battery family violence arrest. 2012 probation violation for trespass. 2012 battery family violence, cruelty in the 3rd, false imprisonment. The battery and the false was dismissed. The cruelty in the 3rd, he got first offender for those. It's weird. Another 2012 arrests. We know what, that's the same thing. They got 2 arrests back to back. I got a 2011 trespass conviction, 2010 FTA for battery against a pregnant woman, and an 08 simple battery DV arrest.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday at 845 North Central Avenue. The defendant, well, in this case, the victim, Ms. Jessica Glass, called the police because an argument ensued between her and the defendant in this case. Your Honor, the state would just like to make note, as pretrial said, this defendant was just before the court on January 18th for the state all-purpose calendar in which Your Honor resided. And at that time, the defendant was sentenced, and part of that was to stay away from Ms. Jessica Glass. And the reports indicate that immediately after leaving jail, he went right back to where the victim in this case lived after being sentenced to stay away. An argument ensued later on, and the victim in this case called the police. The incident that gave rise to the probation that is being violated currently was an incident where he battered Miss Glass in front of 4 children that were present. And at the time, officers stated that he had been arrested previously, at least 4 times previously for battery, family violence. And this is not his first attempt at violence toward this particular victim. Due to the nature of this case and the victim's blatant disregard for this, the court's requirement of him to stay away from this victim, the state is asking for a $7,000 cash bond, a stay away from the incident location if that is where the victim in this case lives, and if not, wherever she is residing. No further contact with the victims, third-party contact for the children, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, or a one-day anger awareness, Your Honor.
Ms. Duncan, do you have the bond for that other case that you were speaking of where I gave a stay away?
For the SAP, that was for case number CR000. Let me see how many zeros. My apologies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, 4 and E.
And what was the charge?
That was the battery, family violence, and the 4 counts of cruelty to children.
Was that the SEA calendar or the SAP calendar?
The SAP calendar, but at that time, he also had an open case against the same victim, which did have a stay away.
Okay.
But I believe that case has since been dismissed.
And the SAP calendar, did he take a plea?
I believe so, Your Honor, but let me check just to be sure.
All right, while you do that, I'll go to Ms. Gant.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Alfonso Molden is 41 years old. He is a long-term Atlanta resident. He has 7 children, ages 7 to 19. He states that he does not share any children with Miss Jessica Glass. Mr. Molden completed high school and he is employed at Sutherland Foods. However, he states that he has lost about 3 weeks of work since January. Therefore, he does not have the ability to pay any bond. Your Honor, Mr. Glass denies, or let me back up. He disputes the allegations. Your Honor, I reviewed the bond order and there is a no further contact with Jessica Glass. Mr. Molden believed that he had a right to return to the residence because this 845 Central Avenue 609, he states that he has been renting that room for the past 21 weeks and he believed that he had a right to return to that residence. However, Your Honor, at this time, he understands that no contact means no contact. Therefore, we are unopposed to a stay away order. We're unopposed to a no contact order. And I would ask the court for a one-time law enforcement escort to retrieve any belongings that he has at the 845 Central Avenue residence. And regarding, let's see here, we do not believe that a third-party transfer is appropriate. And Mr. Molden also has a special needs child, which is one of the reasons why he's anxious to be released. And also given the fact that he had only been at that Sutherland Foods job for 6 months, and he was lucky enough to be able to remain in that position despite being absent for about 3 weeks due to his incarceration. And it's for these reasons, Your Honor, I'm asking for a signature bond through the jail. And also, Your Honor, he did not offer any violence and there was no argument, not in the warrant. And of course, Mr. Molden denies there being any arguments whatsoever. So therefore, I'm asking or requesting a signature bond through the jail. And if not, then the lowest bond possible. Thank you.
Your Honor, I just want to clarify that, yes, he was convicted and he's currently on 12 months probation. And as I stated earlier, you were the judge that told him to stay away from this victim, and the warrant for arrest at that time for the violation of the protective order stated that Jessica Glass called the police because there was an argument.
Okay, so I'm just a bit confused. Ms. Scant, the case that you're talking about, is that a different case than the state all-purpose case where he took a plea?
I
Is
am
that-
talking about 22 CR 0004E. And the date of that case is January 3rd, 2022. There was a $4,000 good bond and a no further contact order along with the, other things like no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. I do not recall seeing a stay away.
Incarcerated individual at Fulton County Jail.
Ms. Kim, you're not muted.
Cannot be monitored. To accept this free call, press 1.
I apologize.
All right.
And just to clarify any confusion, he has been told to stay away from this particular victim on several occasions. And in this one on SAP that I myself presented, you told him to stay away.
Okay. So we've got, tell me if this, so we've got two different things, Ms. Duncan. We have the January 3rd, SEA calendar where he got a $4,000 good bond. And when was the SAP calendar?
January 18th.
Okay, so this was for the same,
Yes.
the same thing. So he took a plea at that point,
Yes.
and there was a stay away issue at that point
Yes.
by myself.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
He's currently on probation in addition to that.
Right. So I normally make myself very clear, Mr. Molden. And if you weren't clear the last time, I want you to be clear this time. You can have no contact whatsoever with Ms. Glass, nor can you go to that 845 North Central Avenue address. You can go there one time with a police escort if you have any belongings there. But other than that, you can not have any contact with Ms. Glass. You can have no phone contact, no tweeting, no Facebook, no contact whatsoever. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If I gave him a $4,000 good bond the last time, I can't go back to that level. So I'm gonna go to a $7,000 good bond. No further contact, stay away. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
And
Good
you're
luck
on
to
a
you, Mr.
one-time law enforcement escort?
Yes. Who do we have next?
Number 11, Mr. Rogland.
You all right, Mr. Ragland?
I'm just getting old. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
That's all right. Good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're holding by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, you've been charged in case 22 CR 000468B with driving under the influence of alcohol less safe and driving under the influence of alcohol concentration of 0.08 grams or more. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
13 total between Tennessee and Virginia and Georgia. As far as Virginia, he had a 2010 DUI that was non-pros. Last arrest in Georgia was back in August. Simple battery, family violence. That's a $5,000 pretrial bond. And before that was the year 2000 DUI hit and run. And he had a arrest in the 90s for DUI, serious injury by vehicle, 2 counts of obstruction conviction. Yeah, he got a few DUIs in the 90s. That's all.
Okay, are any of those convictions?
From the 90s, yes. It was the one with the serious injury by vehicle.
Okay.
That was from 97.
Okay, it's been a while. Thank you. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday at the La Quinta Inn at 5750 Holcomb Bridge Road. Officers encountered the defendant in this case. His vehicle was parked halfway in the travel lane and halfway in the parking lot. While speaking to the defendant, officers noticed that he had open alcohol containers, or excuse me, 6 total open alcohol containers, from one of which he was actually drinking. And at the time, the defendant tried to reverse the vehicle back into the parking spot, but could not do so. He admitted to officers that he had just consumed the open container. He was observed to be extremely unsteady on his feet, and he used the vehicle a few times to balance himself. Upon administering the field sobriety test, he was not able to complete the evaluations, and subsequently, for the blood alcohol level, it was at a 0.183, my apologies. And as Your Honor knows, the state legal limit is 0.08. It's for those reasons, and given the fact that most of his history is DUI and serious injury by vehicle, the state is requesting a bond in the amount of $6,000 surety. That's $3,000 per count. No driving, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons.
Scant.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. James Roglin is 63 years old. He has been in Atlanta all of his life. He has a girlfriend here, therefore he has community ties. He completed 2 years of college in the area of electrical engineering. He has been unemployed for the past 2 months. Therefore, he does not have the ability to pay a high bond, especially in light of his open pretrial services case. Mr. Roglin, however, has informed me that he just recently found another job, and they're expecting him to be at work this week. He drives around properties doing inspections. Therefore, Your Honor, we are opposed to the no driving imposition requested by the state. Your Honor, I do acknowledge Mr. Roglin's history. However, I would point out that this incident occurred, his past incidences of driving offenses, specifically DUI, have been over 10 years ago. With his history, we did not hear about any failures to appear. Your Honor, this is, I would just ask the court to take into consideration that there were no accidents, and that Mr. Roglin denies or disputes the allegations, rather, and that he was cooperative. And furthermore, Your Honor, Your Honor, the offenses 2010, 2001, 1990, and anything in the 90s, those offenses are just too remote, Your Honor. So again, I am asking for a signature bond through the jail. And if Your Honor is not inclined, then a bond of no more than $1,000, and that would be $500 for each charge. Thank you.
Okay, I agree with Ms. Gant. The last conviction is well over 25 years ago. So $500 on each count, making it for $1,000 good bond. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What is it? Good.
Okay, number 13, Mr. Thompson Dash.
Yeah, the shoe keep cutting off.
Good afternoon, Mr. Thompson Dash. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 22 CR 0000462C with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
6 total. Last arrest was 2011 battery conviction. Before that was 2010 suspended license arrest. 2010 DUI conviction. 2004 battery. It was dead dog. And the 01 battery.
Duncan?
Your Honor, this event occurred yesterday at 1935 Allison Court around 6 p.m. The victim in this case is Cleveland Thompson Dasher. All common spelling, Dasher is D-A-S-H-E-R. Mr. Dasher is the husband and other person living in the same household as the defendant. In this case, the defendant placed both hands on his husband, grabbing him, making him fearful. The state is requesting in this case a $3,000 surety bond. Given the history, this defendant does have a previous battery conviction from 2012. No further contact with the victim in this case. Given the nature of the offense, we are concerned for the victim's safety. Our victim witness advocate has not been able to make contact, so we're going to prioritize safety, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and one-day anger awareness, given the risk of reoffense.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Gant.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Sylvester Thompson Dasher is 58 years old. He has been in the Atlanta areas for the past 20 years, along with his husband, who is the complaining witness in this case, Mr. Cleveland Dasher Thompson. They have been together for 20 years and married for the past 7. At this time, Mr. Thompson Dasher does not have an alternate address. Therefore, we are opposed to the stay away. Mr. Thompson Dasher completed community college in 2 areas. He studied practical nursing and phlebotomy. Currently, he is employed at Kroger as an assistant produce manager. He is due to be at work on Monday, and he is very concerned about losing his job. Turning to the allegations, Mr. Thompson Dasher denies the allegations. He states that he believes that he had consent to place his hands on Mr. Cleveland Thompson Dasher. In fact, he states that he gave him a kiss, and then very soon after, he anointed him with oil by touching his head and placing some of the oil around his neck. So again, Your Honor, he denies the allegations. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Thompson Dasher's behalf, primarily because of the fact that he is recommended for a signature bond, Your Honor. And while I acknowledge my client's history, we did not hear about any failures to appear, and he does not have any recent history of violence. The battery conviction was over 10 years old. He asked me to reach out to Mr. Cleveland Dasher Thompson. However, I was unable to reach him as well. And for these reasons, Your Honor, I am requesting the signature bond, Your Honor. And if Your Honor determines that he's ineligible, then a bond of no more than $500. Thank you.
All right, so let's see. A $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, one-day anger awareness class. Since nobody has talked to Mr. Cleveland Thompson, he is, until somebody speaks with him regarding what he desires, no further contact with Cleveland Thompson. Stay away from the 1935 Allison Court address. He can go back there on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he may have there. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. I believe that given that Mr. Cleveland Thompson, no one has been able to speak with him, and given that he's not present for this proceeding, I would imagine that after 20 years that somebody would show up to a court hearing if they wanted contact with their husband. So there'll be no contact at this point in time until further notice, until it's modified. Good luck to you, Mr. Thompson Dasher.
Thank you.
And we got a few announcements. Position number 7, the purge was paid already.
Say it again.
Number 7, Mr. Lake, the purge was paid.
Okay.
I'm
Your
sorry.
Honor, I think the courtroom is saying he's paid. Is that correct?
Yeah, he said the purge is paid.
So the purge amount has been
Oh, a purge is paid. Thank you, Ms. Falk.
paid. No problem, Your Honor.
And number 8, it'll be a mental health reset.
And that was the one where we needed the interpreter.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Madam Interpreter, to make you sit here all afternoon. You're on mute, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, sorry we made you sit here all afternoon.
No problem, that's what I'm here
okay.
for. Thank you,
All
sir.
right.
Have a good day.
You do the same. It'll be reset until tomorrow.
All right, great, thank you.
And number 12 is on quarantine. Mr. Shelton, on quarantine.
He's on quarantine?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's reset until tomorrow also. And that's it?
Yeah, sure cover.
All right, very good. Thank you all so much. We appreciate it.
No problem. Catch y'all tomorrow.
Okay. All right, whenever you're ready, Ms. Bridgewater.
Afternoon. Again, the reset date for SAP is going to be February the 15th. Position number 1 is being reset further notice with a $5,000 total SOB through the jail. Position number 2.
Number 1, I got a pretrial. That's jail. Yeah, that is jail. You're right. My bad.
Ms. Bridgewater, can you turn your the volume up a bit on your?
Okay, give me just a second. Is this better?
Yes, I think so.
Just want to make sure.
You still sound low.
It's still down low?
Yes.
You may have to scooch up a bit.
I am short. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, is this better?
Yes.
No?
Yes, we'll just be real quiet. We can hear.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna make it right. Hold on. I'm gonna make it real right. Is this better?
Same, but we can hear you. So.
All right, well, let's get this going. Okay, here we go. Position number 2 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the pretrial. Okay. Position number 3 is reset SAP with a $3,000 good bond. Position number 4 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 5 is reset further notice with a $1,000 SOB through the jail. Position 6 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through the jail. Position 7, the purge has been paid. Position 8 is being medically reset till tomorrow. Position 9 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Position 10 is reset SAP with a $7,000 good bond. Position 11 is being reset to the SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. Position 12 is being reset to the SAP calendar. And I'm gonna give you that amount in just a second. Well, I thought I was. I'll come back to that one. And position
12 is reset.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay. I'm sorry, reset, it's a medical reset till tomorrow. And position 13 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Any questions, comments, or otherwise?
What is the SAP reset date?
February
the 15th.
15th, okay.
February the 15th.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Any other questions, concerns?
No.
I do. Mr. Howard, do you have a question?
You here tomorrow, right?
No, I'm not. I've got the Orca calendar tomorrow. So I won't be at this calendar. Ms. Guidry, I noticed that this is the first time that anybody's called me elderly to my face. I just wanted you to know that 59 is not necessarily an elderly person. I need to